Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A mother's heart is the hardest thing you'll ever come across. Her nurturing love will make you feel super soft. I don't wanna ever see you when it's sad. I can't stand the thought of seeing a mother sad. When they took her kids, it tore her apart. For the first time in her life, she was absent of heart. Not knowing where to turn, she buried her head. Is she alive or is she dead? This mama choices she had to make. This was hard for her to do, just to stay awake. Her heart was crumbled, felt no more. Then she heard a loud knock on her door. Sam knows what it's like to be destroyed. It's a feeling that hides behind a noise. She recognizes that you need help. Sam brought you some love for you to feel. She will pick you up, so here's the deal. The first step you must trust is a must. My name is Sam, and me you must trust. Now we can start this journey. Take a breath and wipe away your tears. Make sure now you're all ears. You need to hear the sound of your heart, so you know you're doing your part. Sam's healing journey is for all in pain. She is doing this stuff till she's no longer shamed. She holds her children in her heart. She misses them so much, just like you. Sam does what she needs to do. She's giving up her pain to stand by you. Make sure you listen to what she says. She's truly helping you instead. Together we will all get a bit better. Do what you love, maybe knit a sweater. We all need to heal the way we can. So join this healing journey with Sam. We've got the love, we need it. Sam's got the heart, you'll feel it. Let's heal together. It's our journey here with Sam. It's our journey here with Sam. Yeah. Yeah.
Parents who've lost time with their children carry a unique kind of pain. This is Heal with Sam. This space is for parents healing from CPS trauma and ambiguous grief. Dealing with CPS is the hardest thing a loving parent can be forced to do. In a system that isn't designed to protect, but to profit, it can feel like you're going crazy. Join me in a conversation of self-discovery tools, self-care strategies, and empowerment techniques to help you overcome the challenges of life without your children, heal from trauma, gain clarity, and strength.
Hello. Okay. Hey, Miss Debbie. Sorry, I couldn't see there for a second. Welcome to Heal with Sam. The Heal with Sam show is a space for parents and families who have been violated and traumatized by CPS. Good to see you, John and Miss Debbie. I have a question to start today's show with. And then I was going to share what I experienced this past week. My question, we'll give it a few more minutes. I was thinking of my feeling word for today. I welcome you to put in your feeling word. Train wrecked? I don't know. It's kind of negative. Glad Christmas is over. Is that a feeling word? I think it is. I've already got my tree down, and any sight of Christmas that I had up is gone. And I'm ready to welcome in a new year. I'm going to hold off on my question, and I'll go ahead and start what I experienced this past week. Oh, well, I said where we were. This is the Heal with Sam show for parents violated and traumatized by CPS, and why you should listen to me. Because I'm a mom who overcame her children being removed from her arms, and then the next day at a shelter hearing, removed from her life. I overcame my children being placed with my abuser for 2 years while I got my own place. Anticipation for what, John? I'm a mom who gained her independence, got her own place, and overcame every obstacle that was put before her. And I'm a mom who has survived a termination of parental rights. So I have the lived experience that many of you have, unfortunately. And I'm still here, and I'm still healing. And so welcome to Heal with Sam. Anticipation with an exclamation mark. It must be anticipation for good things to come. I felt excitement with that energy. Miss Debbie, I did have a good Christmas, I guess. I have family next door that I got to have a nice dinner with, and it was very nice. But glad it's over. I hope you had a good Christmas as well. You and Chris and John. So this past week, what I experienced was the time of year when I reach out to the adoptive mom. I have 5 children who I no longer parent. 3 of them I don't know where they are, but my youngest 2 I do know where they are, and they're actually like 10 minutes away from me. And so 3 times a year, 3 to 4 times a year, I reach out to the adoptive mom. And it being Christmas time, that's one of the times I reach out to her. I also reach out to her every January for my daughter's birthday, every March for my other daughter's birthday. This past year, I reached out at back to school time because my youngest had started kindergarten. Last August was the first time in 3 years that the adoptive mom responded back. She has ignored me all past 3 years. Her response said no, which definitely wasn't what I wanted to hear, but it was better than being ignored. No due process in 2025. 2026 has got to be better than 2025. I'm convinced. When the adoptive mom told me no, that she had no plans of integrating me back into my daughter's lives. My response was, "Thank you for responding." That's all I said. um, and I meant that. That was genuine. Like, I did appreciate her responding and not ignoring me. I didn't have anything else nice to say, I guess you would say, so that's all I said. But I I know that in my response there was so much growth and emotional regulation and healing that I have done, because there was once a time when telling me no would have gotten a huge response from me. And then telling me no about something I know I'm right about, oh Lord. So I'm very proud of that growth. Um, her letter, her first response, her only response was very rude to me. My letters to her are very, I mean, they're filled with gratitude. They're focused on the girls, not me, not any adult. My reach outs to her are, they're short, to the point, filled with gratitude, and focused on the girls. I'm like speechless that she tells me no. Um, her letter was very, it was very rude, but it was more than that. So I put her response into Chat GPT and I asked him to like give me like a psychoanalysis on this response that I got from this adoptive mom. And it was very insightful what Chat GPT told me. There was a lot of manipulative tactics hidden in there. It made me feel better. It made me feel a lot better. Um, she was trying to make me feel less than, um, blame me, have some power trips going on in there. So it made me feel better putting that into Chat GPT and looking at it from that perspective instead of the perspective that I'm being told no and that my youngest daughter is starting kindergarten. That's a huge milestone, you know? And the disappointment in it all. And the hush. I don't want to say anger, um, frustration maybe. Frustration that this person has taken on a role to raise my daughters for me. And in doing so, I feel like she has taken on the responsibility of doing what's best for them. And there's just no convincing me that mothers aren't what's best for children. And all that being said, she seems to take very good care of my daughters. So I am great. I am grateful to her. We used to be friends. She was the maid of honor in my wedding, and I was the maid of honor in her wedding. So it's even more crazy to me the way she treats me. We've known each other for 25 years. I know her family, she knows my family. Like, we used to be very close. So the whole thing is very odd to me. But she told me no in August. And I don't know if she thought that was going to stop me from asking, or I don't really know. But I have no intentions of stop asking. I'm going to ask 3 to 4 times a year until we can come to a different, so so solution. In my letters to the adoptive mom, I not in every letter, but in past letters, I have shared that um whatever my reunion or integration with my daughters looks like is up to her. Like, I realize I lost that right. I'm not trying to step in and parent and make demands or anything like that. Like, I'm asking her, look at this. Can y'all see this? Oh, don't stop now. This is the most rotten healing dog I could ever imagine having. He's rotten, absolutely rotten. Yeah, I told on you because you're rotten. You're rotten, crazy. He's my healing dog, but now he's my aggravating dog. He's got his head over here. It's so cute. I do love him. Oh God, hush. Sorry. So the growth, the growth in me being able to, come from a place of not being mom anymore. It's really kind of sad. And I know when I first experienced this, I threw a fit and everything, but that's normal. That's normal. It'd be concerning if I didn't. Hello to Witness Band. I was just talking about last week when I reached out to the adoptive mom of my 2 youngest daughters, kids. Hello to you. And I was just introducing my aggravating healing dog. He's finally laid down, it looks like. He's so cute and bad. Okay, I think it's adjusted. Okay, so um these letters to the adoptive mom, I put so much thought into them, and I put even more thought into them. And I'm not trying to be right, I'm trying to be effective. I'm putting myself in her shoes, trying to accommodate her feelings while still focusing on my daughters and what I believe is what's best for them, which is to have some sort of contact, communication, connection with their mother. And it's fully up to her how that looks. Like, I realize that I've lost that right to make the decisions and make the calls and things like that. Um, and so me approaching her, I feel like I've done it absolutely appropriately. You know, what I think, oh, he is a gorgeous dog. Thank you. He is a black lab, 90 pounds, almost 2 years old. Thank you. um, my backyard has parvo. I never knew what parvo was. And so he got really sick when he was a puppy, but he was a big puppy. I think that helped save him. It cost $2,000 at the vet to save my $50 dog, but it was worth it. Um, what I feel like should happen, but Lord knows the world doesn't go by the way I think things should. And actually, because of what I'm fixing to share, my last letter to her last week, I I used a different approach with the adoptive mom. I didn't ask for that direct reunion in some type of way with my daughters. I left that part out, and I replaced it with her and I communicating. her and I slowly building trust. Um, that's how I see it going, because I realize it's not going to go my way. My way would be I jump right in or they come right over. So I realized that I have to gain the adoptive mom's trust, my old friend's trust. I'm willing to do anything. I'm willing to do anything she wants me to. So it seems to me two normal, rational adults who care and love the same two little girls. I do feel and believe she loves my daughters. I do. I definitely believe that. So it seems like she and I should communicate. She should give me updates on my daughters. I know nothing about them. I don't know how they're doing in school. I don't know what they like, don't like, if they have friends, if they're in extracurricular activities, if they go to church. I know nothing. And so it seems to me that we would start communicating and building trust and a rapport with each other. And she could start filling me in on things. And then at some point, introduce the girls to what she and I have built. Now, I've never done this before. I have no idea if that's the right way or if that's a delusional way or if that's the wrong way. I have no idea. I've never done this, but I've put a lot of thought into it. And to me, that seems like the most rational, effective way for everybody to do it. But she said no. Who says you lost that right? Raising your children is God's given. And who has the authority above God? Nobody. I personally wouldn't mess with what God has put together. I I would I know never to say never, but if I had someone else's child in my care, I would go out of my way to arrange for them to have time with their biological mom, especially if that biological mom was reaching out to me. Like I would never, like at the end of the day, that's not your child. Those aren't your girls. They're mine, like, but I can only share that with y'all. I would never be like that. But it is the truth, isn't it, John? I know more about adoptions than I ever wanted to. I think the adoption narrative in this country needs to change. And I see a lot of adoptees speaking out and man, they're so they're so they're strong and beautiful, but they're so angry and disturbed. And they have every right to be, but they shouldn't have to be. This thing with the birth certificates, I can't even wrap my head around it. Like the state took my children's birth certificates with my name on it and just, I don't know, demolished it. It just poof disappears. It doesn't exist. Or it does, but it's so locked up. Like even the child, when they're an adult, can't get access to it without court's permission, which I've read is hard to do. These adoptees are angry, and I don't blame them, and it's not right. And then you have to change the children's names, apparently. Like, I just, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think it's what's best for children. I think that's all on that topic. From a healing perspective, everything I just shared there was a lot of healing, emotional regulation, and forgiveness, and all of that. And and I have all the letters printed, all the reach outs the past 3 years, I have them printed and in my children's box that I'm gonna give them one day. So, like, the worst case scenario is that I don't see my children till they're 18, and I have this box to give them with things in it like proof that I tried. Um, Best case scenario is God changes her mind, softens her heart, something, and gives me a chance. And today I was working in the yard and I was like, life is the world is different right now. It seems like karma is moving very swift. It seems like God is making a stance. I think it's obvious that the truth is coming to light. um Things are changing, and was working in the yard and I was like, I really think she's wrong. I just think she's wrong. I think she's made the wrong decision. She's going about it the wrong way. I don't think she I think she's wrong. And then so it got me to think, she could wake up tomorrow and her husband could leave her, take the two girls and move to a different state. He did that with his previous marriage. And then she would be sitting there in the same situation as I am. Like, that's how God works. And I'm not wishing that on anyone, but I mean, anything can happen. So even in your own stories, like, I think it's really important to be right in the world we're in right now, these at this moment in time with everything going on. I think it's really important to be sitting in the right chair. Yeah, I do. If that made sense. I feel that. Um, the birth certificate thing is being done here. It happened to a friend that I know from. That's good. You mean where the adoptees can see their birth certificate when they're older? To me, that's just common sense. There's a big uproar on TikTok right now where the adoptees are like, we have a right to our birth certificate. And somebody made a comment that the birth parent may not want to be found. And so I'm I don't know what, if I had to guess, maybe 2% of bio parents might feel that way, or extreme egregious situations. But I've seen lots of birth moms speaking out saying, I want reunion. I wanted reunion the whole time. Most of the birth moms are saying I didn't want the adoption. I know I didn't want my children's adoption. I was coerced. That's right. That's right, John. Yep. And I think the adoptive mom, and they go to church. I'm pretty sure they're very involved in church, which doesn't necessarily mean anything. I don't go to church because I've worked every Sunday the past 4 years, but I'm very close to God. So going to church doesn't mean anything, but I do pray for us all to work together soon. I really do. She's good people, and I'm good people. Uh, yeah, all that needs to be exposed. It's scary how you can go adopt a baby and request which, like, blonde hair, blue eyes, or red hair. That terrifies me. Terrifies me. Like, whoa, what are we doing here, people? Ugh. Mm-mm. And I strongly feel that foster parents shouldn't be allowed to adopt. I feel that. Actually, the way I feel right now and have past 3 years is abolish adoption. Just abolish it. That may be extreme. I don't care. I feel that way right now. I'm allowed to change my mind one day, but I'm also allowed to feel that way today. Abolish adoption. Unless the child's an orphan. That's my stance right now. My question I mentioned earlier that I had was, in the beginning of your CPS case, what was the biggest violation that you experienced? The biggest injustice or violation, or, what's the most messed up thing that they did or happened in the beginning of your case? In the beginning of your CPS case, what was the biggest violation that you think you endured? My answer is, at the arraignment, the hearing after the shelter hearing, I had to put in a plea. I didn't understand that. I thought that was just criminal court. But my biggest violation of my rights and feelings was, I told my attorney not guilty, and she said, you can't plead not guilty. And I was like, not guilty. And she's like, well, you'd have to go to trial. And I was like, great, that's fantastic, let's go. And she's like, oh no, nobody ever pleads not guilty. And so she talked me out of, hush it. So she talked me out of the plea I wanted to, give. And I guess she made me say no consent. And then she, signed the case plan for me, basically. I would have liked to have had an adjudication hearing. I didn't know my rights. I didn't know what the hearings were. I didn't know anything. My lawyer didn't inform me of anything. So knowing what I know now, I wish that I would have said not guilty, and I wish I would have had my trial, and I wish I would have had a lawyer who actually defended me and presented, a defense and everything for me. I hear you, John. Can you think of the biggest violation in the beginning of your case? I'm sure it was a lot of things, but just one not isolated, but just one event. For me, it was not being able to plead not guilty, being forced. Hush, being forced to plead no consent. That's my answer for the beginning of my case. It is not playtime, dog. Oh my goodness. You are too much. You're too much. There's a book, Your Dog Mirrors You. My dog's nothing like me. Center of attention, needing, what? Get down. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Now go. 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 I'm going to lock you out next time. I thought you was going to lay down. My dog is a free spirit, non-listening, loving, great dog. So that describes me. I don't listen. I'm a free spirit. I got to be in the middle of everything. Oh my God. I love you too. I love you too. Yes, I do. You're 90 pounds. You're not a lap dog. Gone. Gone for real. Go. Okay. Um, we got 35 minutes. When I was the biggest one is their use of the bill of attainder. Sorry, I got hair somewhere. Are you in Canada, John? I didn't know that. I got hair in my mouth. I'm sorry. Now being used on me by CASA Case Foster Care Canada and CPF. Oh, both. Shut up. Are you at the beginning, middle, or end? Or appeal? I definitely know the biggest violation I felt or experienced at the end. The middle's a blur. It's all a blur. It's a nightmare. I've learned a lot. Well, not a lot. I've learned a shift in how the system works. I learned recently, kind of, you know how parents say it's a setup for failure, and that's a real feeling. I've kind of learned recently why it feels that way. Um, and I don't want to get into all that tonight. But I understand now that, this the system is a risk management system, and feelings and emotions and love and things like that that are human, that they don't matter. They can actually work against you. It's a very computerized risk, like I don't know another word, risk management system. And so I can accept that, not that anybody cares, but I can accept that. What really bothers me about that is that the caseworkers are having to make their observations and assessments and their inputs into the system at the beginning, you know, which I understand they wouldn't do that at the end, but it just really bothers me how they're doing this at the beginning when a parent has just experienced the removal of their child. CPS doesn't give them any compassion, kindness, understanding, or a grace period, or like an adjustment phase, like they don't give the parent that. They immediately start, I say judging. What I read said assessing parents. And it's just it's not it's inhumane, it's cold, it's heartless, it's evil, like I don't like it. I don't like it. Um, the first 3 or 4 months after my children's removal, I was a angry, hot, emotional mess, and I had every right to be that way. Every right to be that way. Like, if I wasn't that way, really, that's what should raise the red flags in my eyes and any other person with a soul and heart, you know. Like, hello. So, I just recently learned how being overwhelmed can be seen as, oh, I have a list of it. We'll go over it later. But yeah, I really, I don't like it. But at the same time, I want to share that message with people because as hard as it is to pull yourself together after a removal, if you know how the system works, then you can strategize, and at least stand a chance. Like I didn't stand a chance. And for the parent who even knows this information, they do stand a chance, but there's definitely no guarantee. Not in our child's welfare system. It's the narrative in society is a parent loses their children, gets a case plan, completes the case plan, and then gets their kids back. And that's not how it works. Like, I completed my case plan, I still had a TPR. Just because you complete your case plan, if you have an open case towards the end, you know it, that's no guarantee that you'll reunify. What I hear most commonly for a while now is that once a parent does complete their case plan, they just add more tasks to it. So society's narrative is so inaccurate of the truth. And I hope for that to change one day, like very soon. Constantly postponing, which is common. The more time your child is away from you, it's like the more leverage they have. And they brain not you, John. You seem very headstrong and focused, but the more time you're away from your child, it's like the more head games they get to play with you or with me. I guess I should say me. Um, you know, it's a horrible experience. Horrible. Well, I hope that you do. Keep me posted. While I was waiting for the show to start, I asked ChatGPT if forgiveness was part of the healing journey. It was part of mine. But, everyone's different. So ChatGPT's response was forgiveness can be part of a healing journey, but it's not a requirement. Here's the truth most people don't say out loud. Forgiveness is a result of healing, not the starting point. And I was like, oh, yeah, I did it backwards, but that makes sense. You heal or come far on your healing journey, and as a result of that, forgiveness happens. And so that makes sense. Forgiveness was actually at the beginning of my healing journey. ChatGPT says healing usually looks like this: safety first, stabilizing your nervous system; two, truth telling, naming what really happened without minimizing; three, grief and anger, allowing the emotions to flow that you never allowed; four, meaning making, understanding how it impacted you; five, release, sometimes forgiveness, sometimes acceptance without forgiveness. Forgiveness often arrives naturally when the wound no longer controls you. When it's rushed, it becomes another form of self-abandonment. What forgiveness can look like: this no longer defines me. I don't need revenge to be free. I release carrying this pain in my body, and I choose peace over continued suffering. Forgiveness was at the beginning of my healing journey. Probably because, well, I don't know. And one reason is because my dad was one of the people I had to forgive, and I despised my dad. If you would have asked me at the beginning and middle of my CPS case, maybe the end too, I would have said to you, my dad's dead to me, and I would have meant that, but that never sat right with me. Like, that's not me. You know, I had a good dad. I'm the only child, and my parents, like I come from a good family. Um, so it never sat right with me, despising my dad. At the same time, it never sat right with me that my dad betrayed me. So, you know, loyalty is one of my values, and being betrayed by your own father hurts. It cuts you very deep, very sharp, and it made my blood boil. So I think that's probably why forgiveness was at the beginning, because I had to forgive my dad, but I couldn't fake it. So I worked through a lot of things like that because of that. And then also at the beginning of my healing journey, God told me to pray for my ex and his girlfriend, who were my two enemies. And I was like, what? I don't want to. But I can see why he want like that, why that was the right thing, because I like I've shared before, I felt rage towards my ex, and what he was doing. Taking my kids wasn't enough. He kept hurting me and just trying to destroy me. So that rage was not healthy. And for me to let go of the rage, I had to forgive on some level. On some level. Probably not a whole full forgiveness, normal, meaningful level, but on some level I did. I have been learning the Bible and about God and Jesus from birth, but I have seen demons too, and more of the supernatural. And now I see how God has made my path ready from birth for all of this to be. I love that. That's beautiful. Me too. Um, that that warms my heart. That makes me happy for you, but at the same time, that also lets me know that you've overcame a lot of obstacles too. The path is not easy, but it's worth it. I believe one day it'll be even more so worth it. But as I sit here today, it's definitely not bad. I definitely have more to be grateful for than I do bitter. Um, I actually love my life. I just need my kids in it. I've achieved everything I've pretty much everything I've wanted to. I mean, I still have goals, but the main ones, that make me stable and responsible and happy and fulfilled, like, things are good. And God gets all that glory too. I definitely wouldn't have made it from that dark, bottomless pit that CPS threw me into and left me there. They terminate a parent's rights, and they don't even give you a card for a therapist if you need someone to talk to. Like, what the hell is that? They don't even say, sorry, you lost your family and it was destroyed. Like, sorry. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And then to, like, what's the phrase? Put some and then pour salt on an open wound, something like that. They give you a goodbye visit with no preparation, no help, no guidance, no support, no counseling, no nothing. And that's just shitty on so many levels. You know, it's shitty for the mom. You know, thank God I was able to pull myself together to get through, perform the goodbye visit. But I wasn't able to make sure that each child understood or had questions answered, you know, or I wasn't able to do that. There wasn't time to do that. It was hard enough to get me through that. I felt like there should have been support for my kids to help us get through that, and there's not. My two sons were in the same foster care home, and those foster parents apparently prepared my two sons for the goodbye visit, in that they knew what was going on. Like my son said, "When am I going to see you again? Where can I find you when I'm older?" They had gifts for me. So though I don't know, the foster parents never did, which I have issues with that, but my sons were prepared to some degree, to some level. And then my visit with my three daughters, they had no clue what was going on, you know, and I wasn't prepared for that. So CPS sucks. I guess that's all I got for tonight. Until I see you next week, we're gonna have a happy new year thing happen. 2026 is here coming. I always made New Year's resolutions, then I stopped, and then I started 3 years ago when I started my healing journey to start making New Year's resolutions again. So I should have asked that question. Does anybody have a New Year's resolution? I started making mine and I was like, you know what? I need to dream bigger, like doing yoga every day, or, you know, and helping a person once a day or however many times a week. Like I've been doing that. Let's upgrade my goals. So I'm still working on my resolutions. I'm gonna dream big. So happy new year to everyone. I won't see you until then. I hope your new year and new beginnings starts out with a bang and is everything you want it to be and more.
A mother's heart is the hardest thing you'll ever come across. Her nurturing love will make you feel super soft. I don't wanna ever see you when it's sad. I can't stand the thought of seeing a mother sad. When they took her kids, it tore her apart. For the first time in her life, she was absent of heart. Not knowing where to turn, she buried her head. Is she alive or is she dead? This mama choices she had to make. This was hard for her to do, just to stay awake. Her heart was crumbled, felt no more. Then she heard a loud knock on her door. Sam knows what it's like to be destroyed. It's a feeling that hides behind a noise. She recognizes that you need help. Sam brought you some love for you to feel. She will pick you up, so here's the deal. The first step you must trust is a must. My name is Sam, and me you must trust. Now we can start this journey. Take a breath and wipe away your tears. Make sure now you're all ears. You need to hear the sound of your heart, so you know you're doing your part. Sam's healing journey is for all in pain. She is doing the stuff till she's no longer ashamed. She holds her children in her heart. She misses them so much, just like you. Sam does what she needs to do. She's giving up her pain to stand by you. Make sure you listen to what she says. She's truly helping you instead. Together we will all get a bit better. Do what you love, maybe knit a sweater. We all need to heal the way we can. So join this healing journey with Sam. We've got the love, we need it. Sam's got the heart, you'll feel it. Let's heal together. It's our journey here with Sam. It's our journey here with Sam. Yeah.
They said don't fight the system. They said don't fight the system. They said stay quiet. They were wrong. Lock in. We are exposing what so many have failed to. We are gonna show you what bar attorneys have hidden from all of us. Hundreds of thousands of children and twice that of parents have been lied to and walked down the road of termination. It's the death penalty. We're all of the protesters, the ones who fight for the rights of prisoners, dogs, illegal immigrants. Why aren't you coming to the aid of our children and families? Right here in America, every day a child per minute is kidnapped. And no one cares. We fight alone until today. CPS punishers mount up. Here comes the CPS Punisher.
Anonymous tip, another lie from one of them. No warrant, no proof, just a badge and a grin. Stealing kids like trophies, thinking they'll win. Mama crying on the porch, daddy in the cage. System wrote the script, but the CPS Punisher just flipped the page. The educator they banned, I see every violation, every forged line, every ex-part hearing, every stolen time. One tap of the app and the truth ignites. Welcome to the CPS Punisher, now we can fight.
CPS and the courts have lied to us all.
The courts will not disgrace the family. CPS Punisher, here to avoid the chains and expose the game. CPS Punisher, the educator they never wanted you to find. Punisher, one tap and their empire cracks. We raise ties, we take our kids back. The app is called the CPS Punisher. I'm the cape in the shadows, the skull in the night, the binder full of secrets and weapons you all need. Ab initio, watch me void that lie. Fourth Amendment armor, watch the tyrants cry. Falsified drug test gone in a flash. I see Tebio, warrior, due process king. Every parent's hero when the hotline rings. I call it justice. Download the truth, now the system busts us. From the courtroom to the streets, hear the battle cry. The CPS Punishers arrive. Kiss your bar asses goodbye. They tried to silence us, now we're the loudest voice in the room. CPS Punisher, here to avoid the chains and expose the game. CPS Punisher, the educator they never wanted you to find. Punisher, the children never leave again. Families rise, we never look back. We now use the CPS Punisher. This ain't revenge, this is reunification.
This ain't rage, this is resurrection. Open the app, step into the fight. You ready?
CPS Punisher! The app you need when they took your kid. CPS Punisher! The truth they hid, now the truth gets lit. Punisher! Download the power, take back the throne. Punisher! You're never alone.
CPS Punisher. The educator they never wanted you to find. Void complete, family restored. The bar is finished, the Constitution will prevail. Judges do what's right. Treason is your penalty. Here comes the CPS Punisher.